Water is a subject of concern in our times. We have made the water undrinkable. We have locked up its spirit. We are told there is no water, and this is also how we are treating the feminine. Women are abused, cervical cancer is on the rise all over the world. And yet, in the indigenous stories of creation, water is where we come from. In African traditions, everything came from the water. And the water is feminine. The water is a goddess.
The water from the cosmic egg, because the cosmic egg, Basotho, they call it Mokedi. Mokedi means primordial waters of creation, just like your amniotic fluid in the stomach of the mother. Is also, they use the same word, Mokedi. So when the primordial waters intersected with the seed from the granary, then there was this massive explosion. And it is this massive explosion and that resulted in the fragments, these dense fragments, and that's how the stars were birthed.
Rain comes down, right? It brings with it the germs of all things. The germs of all living things. When water falls, it comes with the germs of all living things. Which also, if you look at the anatomy of a woman within herself has the germs of all things, and the potential of life is very much like infinite in a female body. So there you go. I feel like, if you think of it that way, then definitely water and women is inseparable.
Women and water are both spiritual states of being. Water is spiritual. The feminine also is spiritual. It's not what we've been told that it is, a punishment from God or a divine order to do your husband's laundry.
The last epoch is about the masculine energy, the patriarchal energy. So all about Jesus Christ, the terrible suffering the poor man went through, being crucified on the cross, blood, pain, just awful stuff. When you read the Christian Bible, and really it's brutal, it's horrible, the cruelty. And in the last 2,000 years, the feminine energy has been suppressed by this terrible patriarchal energy that's kept us down, pregnant in the kitchen, doing the housework sort of thing.
W dużym mieście tego nie widać, ale jak wyjeżdżam, wracam na wieś i spotykam kogoś i z takich znajomych, których nie widziałam przez lata, to oni zawsze zadają mi dwa podstawowe pytania. Czy wyszłam za mąż i czy mam dzieci? Tak jakby to były jedyne rzeczy, które definiują kobietę.
No właśnie.
Oni mnie pytają, co robię zawodowo, jakich mam przyjaciół, jak się mam, gdzie byłam, co robiłam. Ich nie interesuje nic.
And now women are coming into their own power and holding down very high positions. They're educated, they're all these things that they weren't before. So the new golden age, according to Saint Germain, is the feminine age.
Women's ways of knowing have also been erased from what is deemed to be acceptable knowledge. These ways of knowing are not just for women. They are deep spiritual intuitions that any human connected to the goddess is privy to. And we see in African traditions an understanding that knowledge is not divorced from life or experience. The only way to know is to experience. And to experience is both to create and be created. So to experience is to become part of the goddess.
Knowledge is called tsibo. In Zulu language, lwazi. That means knowledge, lwazi. I think that would be the same in Ndebele. So lwazi. The lwa means the boundary or the extent, the expanse, and then the Z is the water. So why do they make a connection between water and knowledge? That's because they conceptualize about knowledge as a sensory system. So they are saying that knowledge, true knowledge, requires sensory experience. Yes. So, because you see, water gives you a sensory experience. If you put your hand in water or your foot or get your feet wet, that engenders a sensory experience.
Western philosophy is mambo jambo leyo. Why? Because in the Western philosophy, what they concentrate on is everything that has manifested. Okokobako concentrated on the energy that emanates from all these stars.
There is a story in the Bible about when the Israelites were out in the wilderness and Moses was up on the mountain talking to God. His brother Aaron asked for everyone's gold and made a golden calf. Subsequently, the people danced and sang and engaged with the energy of the sacred feminine. Now, for anyone familiar with Egyptian tradition, clearly Aaron made a portal to Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, joy, fertility. Because that's what magical objects are. They are not idols, they are portals. When Moses came back, he not only broke the tablets out of anger, but also had 3,000 people slaughtered. 3,000 people. All because his people wanted to connect with the Great Mother in harnessing the wild energy of the feminine. This is significant because Hathor was also considered the goddess of the Milky Way and therefore of water. She was a sky goddess, a sky calf. So she connected people not only to the earth, but also to the creative womb of the universe. And we see her imprint in so many traditions all over the continent of giving children over to the sky.
So once she gets a child, she is called Motsweti. Motsweti, she's called Motsweti because she now has a child, and then she will be called Motsweti for about, let's say, minimum 3 months. Right. And then when she's still breastfeeding that. And then from there, she's called Mweti.
I think at first I said, all of us has a name, and our name is called Kwedi, because there's no name more than 9 months that you are called except Kwedi. So in order for the name revealing ceremony to take place, the mothers would take the child, a ceremony, making this child to actually look at the moon, and they would say, that's your people. And when the old lady tells them, she will say, how? So they will act it. This is our intention.
There's no Western civilization but African civilization. Why? Because all the Romans and the Greek philosophers were taught on the continent.
Imagine you if you're a girl and then the first time a girl is mentioned in the Bible, she's committing the ultimate sin. I don't think that was it. It knows God, nobody knows what the book is like Christianity. I am congratulating you. Plus, Maraja knows he. Maraja Gano he, and Manako Manawakano he. Nemwe Amse no he.
But if you wanted to be fair, my characteristics and varieties were about the Holy Spirit. They are feminine.
But the Abati, she comes and she wanted to eat.
But a Holy Spirit does not have a vagina.